and as an openly gay person too, I love supporting the LGBTQ plus community, leaders who are looking to find their authentic voice and their place in the corporate world. And so a lot of my coaching is really about developing leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And my philosophy and approach is that there's so much out there about what it means to be a good leader, and the traits you need to have, and
Mm-hmm.
the models of leadership that you can follow, or the 6-step plan to become a great leader.
Mm-hmm.
And my philosophy really is forget about what's expected in terms of a leader, and let's focus on who you are as a leader and what makes you a great leader, and bring more of who you are to the table. Because it's very easy to look around and say, oh, that's a really good leader. I want to be like that person. That person seems really confident. I want to be like that person. And suddenly you're like losing yourself, right? And so recentering and focusing on what makes you an amazing person, amazing leader, and bringing more of that to the table.
I like how because you specifically illustrate how what we do is like, look at these 12 traits. Look how I did it. And then what happens is we end up attaching to that, and then thus losing the essence. Maybe not losing, but maybe compromising on the essence of who we are. And so I think that attachment disorder, which is evidenced from largely within the LGBT community space, because we suffer a psychology of what is our community being rejected and abandoned. So we attach to what is there instead of focusing on, instead of who we are, our truth, because we haven't been nurtured to do that.
Yeah. And I think it's easy sometimes to take for granted, the like for me, everyone has their own journey of coming out and what that experience is like in the corporate space. And I know I've been guilty sometimes of having been through that journey and getting to a place where I feel pretty comfortable, that I almost forget that it's still not easy for people, right? There's still so many people, especially, who are later in their careers, who either still haven't come out, or still haven't been on that journey to really feel comfortable in the corporate space, and continue to have conversations with people like that. And that's why it's just so rewarding to empower them to create, to tap into how that identity makes them a great leader, and how that part of them is really important to how they show up.
Yeah. Because coming out's kind of that's just the first step in that marginalization space. The other hurdle that we have to overcome is then balancing or gauging where the spectrum of inclusion is and where we fit in that, and how authentic we can be in that space. And so we're out, but then it becomes, what's the next step? How do we now thrive? And you're bridging that. You are connecting from that space of, from what is visible into the full inclusion. Like, we're visible, but now let's start helping one-on-one in how we can thrive in the inclusion space.